stupid or some jackass or
He
fuck.
asked me when I
Yeah,
was like, man, I'm nervous. I was like, dude, I was nervous first time.
Yeah, I was like, you know, and I said they made, and I will say that I said, you know, I'm telling you right now, this is probably the happiest I've ever been. You know, to let me do that and show that, you know, because you didn't have to do that, or you could have been like anybody else when I asked questions when I first started. I was just intimidated to ask you, like, hey, John, I know that I made those signs, but I'm trying to just make 4 belts for personal gifts as friends, and I don't think my tension's right. And, you know, I'm sure anybody would help, but that's the thing. I mean, you just like was super cool as shit to let me say, hey, I'll show you how. And
you know who Eagle is? Eagle Industries?
I've heard of Eagle Industries.
Eagle, Blackhawk, Winter
Yeah.
Those were really the 3 biggest in the industry back when we started. And Mike Knoll started like 90, 91. I started fucking around in 90, 91, but he was actually a company. And we went to the Soldier of Fortune show the first time, and we actually snuck in the side and stole Ernie Emerson's table the first show we were at. So I walk over, I have some shit in there, you know, that we'd made, and we got a saltwater slick and sand. It had just come out of the surf zone, 4 a.m. in the morning. All the rigs belonged to basic reconnaissance course instructors.
Yeah.
We flew up to Las Vegas. They were laying down in the back of the truck. That's how we fucking got there. We snuck in the side of the door, set up at an empty table Friday morning, and there was this dude hanging around that was helping us sell our shit. And finally I got to talking to him like, who the fuck are you? He's like, oh, I'm Ernest Emerson, boys. We had stole his table. He sold all his shit Thursday before the show opened. He had nothing to sell. He's like, you guys are welcome to be here, but I could probably get you a booth back by the snack bar where you got more room. So I still to this, I don't know whether he paid for that or they comped it, how he got it, but he got us a booth.
See.
So we're set up, and I got all these recon dudes who don't know shit about selling shit. They're just like, hey, this is the best shit, this is what you need. And they're talking like, we had pyro fucking dummy corded and fucking taped up. Fucking everything was still out of fucking class.
Nice.
Fucking live fucking, you know, smokes and thermite.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Shit, we'd be in prison right now for stupid shit.
Yeah.
So I go over to, we're in the back, you know, concrete, because motherfuckers are slipping and sliding on all the salt water. Up front is the red carpet, the beginning of the show. And it was Soldier Fortune show, so red carpet, and it's like angels, you know, there's Eagle Industries. The first thing you see when you walk in the building is Eagle Industries. Red carpet, had to be 40 by 40 booth. Nowadays guys have fucking catwalks and fucking second level fucking, but it was the shit. It's the biggest thing I'd ever seen. And I'd watched their catalogs as a kid and looked at them and fucking draw out rigs, and I'm going to have Eagle make me this custom vest. It was like $800 for anything custom back then. And that's, we started sewing, so I'm fucking around. I got a few rigs in the back. I walk up, and John Carver's just like, how you doing, son? What can I do for you? I'm like, man, I sew a little bit of stuff, and we got some rigs in the back, and I just wanted to see your stuff. And he welcomed me in there. He stood there for 3 fucking hours, talked to me. And he said, like, one of the things I took away was, he said, whatever it is you do, just be the best at what you do. Do it better than the next guy, and love what you know, you better love what you love doing. And he said, man, I made more money a lot of times when I was smaller, when it was myself and 10 employees, than when I had 400 employees. He said, with taxes and just the waiting to be paid by the government, he said, it was more fun when it was small. You fast forward 10, 12 years after that, John Carver was doing contracts for the Marine Corps because Colonel Coates got out, and that was his fucking boy. He would come down when they were first issuing like the Frisbee shooter kits and stuff. Eagle did all that shit for Force and those guys. When John was in town, John made a point to stop by my shop and take me to lunch.
That is
Every time John was in San Diego, John made a point to come and see me. John Carver, the owner of Eagle, who now his son owns First Spear. And he actually sewed some stuff. He's like, man, if you need us to build anything for you, he did some sewing for us. We were actually an Eagle dealer because we didn't build backpacks. But that was the thing, man. That dude, who I perceived to be the biggest person in the industry, and really, no matter what the fuck is that noise?
Something downstairs.
Somebody's phone.
Turn that off! whatever, the guy I perceive to be the biggest in the industry. And I can still walk up today and talk to him. And he's doing completely different shit. But that was the dude. And he started from his son, and I believe him, but his son for sure raced motorcycles.
Yes.
So they were building road racing, gear and shit. There wasn't really anything out there at the time for that kind of stuff. So his neighbor was a SWAT police officer, and they made some gear for him, and that's how Eagle Industries started.
Yeah.
They never got in the industry to do that.
Yeah.
So you never know when you have the capability to work in those mediums where you're going to go. And I tell guys all the time, it could be one step removed. You might start here, but you end up over here. And when you're close, that's very close. But 10 miles down the road, it's fucking hugely apart.
Yeah.
And that's a good example of that. So it doesn't matter what you're doing or what you're working in.
Yeah.
As long as number one, you love doing what you're doing, and you can always change. If they came in and said, which is not far-fetched, it wouldn't surprise me if we heard, the new President Hillary Clinton has said that tactical gear is illegal. We would just be fucking start tomorrow. You'd see us out there with the motorcycles in here and the fucking razors in here, building shit for those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand, and that that's the thing. My dad, before he passed away, that's funny you just said that. He said that to me. He goes, I know that you're not, wanting to go to college as much as I want you to be a lawyer or do that. He goes, but you are very talented, at what you do. And he says, the one thing I can say is you take pride in what you do. If you're doing something, you will stay up and do it until you really have it down. And he says, just like you said, be the best at what you do. And he goes, I'll be proud of you anyway. So that's really, it's crazy how that same scenario.
I don't have a lot of, once I've done it, I'm over it.
Yeah.
We've got hundreds of projects down there that are fucking started that we will never finish just because I lost interest in it.
Yeah.
But once I finish the first one, then we got to reverse, because I'm terrible about taking notes. Then we have to reverse engineer it and figure out how I made it the first time. Because a lot of times when I build it the second time, I don't fucking have a clue. I literally have to have 3 days.
Yeah.
I have to build the first one, reverse engineer it, build the second, and try to figure out why they're different.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the middle make some patterns so that we can build fucking 4,000 more of them.
More of them, yeah.
But I lose interest in it. Like the bag I built this week, and I
awesome.
had to come in and build it, but I had to finish it, because if I didn't finish it come Monday, that motherfucker was never getting finished.
Yeah.
So it's just how it is.
Yeah. And that's, I just love, metal and just working with my hands. I've always, I'm a little ADD, wide open half the time, but I guess some of the smartest people in the world,
Say Einstein couldn't tie his shoes.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing, like Cody. Cody's always talked about he wants to run the business and wants to know the business, but Cody can sew, but Cody doesn't want to sit down and sew. So Cody's been taking all these shop classes. He takes 3 shop classes a day. And he likes, we figured, well, maybe he'll work on, automotive, so we'll start a fab business or something. It's CNC is where he's going.
I've got a brother in Barrington right now doing that.
He's going to a trade school, and we could easily lateral, SOE hard parts or whatever it is he wants to do. Set up a subsidiary company where he does fucking high-dollar custom shit. And then once he's got the programs working, we buy CNC machines or fucking farm them or whatever. Yeah. We build, whatever.
Yeah.
Scully and I have some fucking really good ideas for some shit we could come to market with. Once he programs that shit, all we gotta do is build them in different mediums.
Yeah. Gun parts.
That's what we're talking.
Yeah.
Rails and if we put a rail out, it doesn't even matter what fucking kind of rail. If we put a rail out that had fucking cocks cut in it.
Oh.
Ejection port, like I was joking about ejection port covers. I'm like, we're gonna do 100 ejection port covers, dude. We sell 4,000 ejection port covers
like that
in fucking 15 days.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking.
We need to do more of them.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. We got them. I was talking to them this weekend about it.
Yeah. And I think, because, man, and the crazy thing, when I seen that bag, we were talking about motorcycles. Everybody's got Harleys, this and that. But now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, the brand.
Not sure.
The helmet company that's got the BMW on it. It's in Recoil magazine. They do the jackets. James went to their
Icon.
I'm sorry.
So Icon hit us up, and they're like, "Hey, we love your shit." I'm like, "Oh, well, what a coincidence! Because here's a photo of all the fucking Icon shit I have." Yeah. They're like, "Well, let's do a collaboration." So James, that Icon's the other one.
Yeah.
When I said I couldn't think, so actually, I don't think we can talk about that. There's a big, huge company that's doing a Recoil magazine shoot that we are downstairs building custom rigs for right now. The vehicles are color wrapped with a certain color. We're doing rigs to match the thread. And there are several outside industry partners that are coming in to do this 1-year advertisement, full page ad for Recoil. And Icon is one of those companies. Yeah. That's the other company I couldn't think of.
But, well, I was just going to about.
No, totally, go.
Yeah. I think and I would have them on mine. Right now, I have, and I'm, it's in the project of being totally restored, but I think what would be the baddest shit ever for guys that love SOE, love guns, love knives, whatever, would have SOE 2 detachable quick release saddlebags.
And we could transition
this. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just by putting a rigid plate in here.
Yeah.
And I've always said quick mount. So I had a old KX 125.
Yeah.
And we used to ride where they filmed the first Crusty Demons of Dirt out in Tirasana.
Holy shit.
I used to like all
I love them videos. Yeah, the first and second.
My boy Shannon knows all those guys.
Set the inside of all of them.
Yeah. So that was 5 minutes from my house, a lot of that shit.
God.
So fast forward 8 years,
yeah,
it's illegal to ride out there. They're blowing motherfuckers over with helicopters and shit.
Yeah.
So we had painted the bike all desert camo and shit.
Hell
and I wanted to take thin 7.62 cans and make a track that mounts on the back and then a quick release that detents in. So you just have a plate you pull to pull those camo cans off. Just to carry, wasn't going to carry nothing in them, but it just seemed
just
like
it's a cool thing. I mean,
we had the whole frame powder coated black. We used big ass heat shrink tubing on the swing arm and the fork legs, so that was all black. And then we desert camoed the whole thing out, just like those guns back in the day.
Yeah. But that's what I think.
We could do, and nowadays we could totally do that with the capability and access to machining.
Yeah.
We could make those parts.
Yeah. The other thing is, right now, I'm sure you all stay up on it, but with the Humvee deal where they're being auctioned off, I'm dying to get my hands on. I watched a guy in Oregon purchase one for $7,500.
The guy in the video?
Yeah.
The guy that does all the military truck shit?
I don't know. This guy was just a regular. It's what I typed in on YouTube because I YouTube everything for anything from like last week, the dryer breaking, YouTubed it and stuff. And on there, I mean, it's easy.
But can we really get a Humvee for $7,500? I mean, is that?
They do auction them. I don't know. It's possible.
But there's a lot more shit that goes with it.
There's a headache that comes with a vehicle. There's a headache that comes with a military vehicle that does not have a license plate, a road certificate already.
And I don't know how Tennessee is, but
it's almost cheaper. It's really a wash. It's whether you want to pay $75 plus another $5,000, or you just want to pay all fucking 13 at one time.
Yeah.
But there are companies buying them that are already selling them.
Yes.
Roadable.
Roadable. Where I was in that collision repair, I know all about the salvage titles and all that. And I've got a really good friend, is a circuit court clerk, and they're close. So I make some phone calls, and I watch the video. Then I go to the .com GovPlanet, and I'm looking, and they've got some
liquidations.
Yeah, and there was one, and a couple of them are here in close to this Hopkinsville.
Alabama's got a bunch.
They got states out wherever. And I was like, okay, I've got a Kawasaki mule for work and everything, and we've got a lot of property where we live. But how fucking cool would it be to have a military Hummer? What also I have access to is a buddy of mine that was 8 to 10 years light truck mechanic, and I go to ask him, he goes, man, I would rather have one of them than the one you would buy, civilian one. If you can get your hands on it. He goes, man, I thought they chopped them up. You could buy tires, engines, whatever, but now DOD, and I watched the article where they released it because you're going to, what's the new troop carrier, you guys?
There's something. The AMRAAM.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be armored now.
Yeah.
So they're getting rid of all the aluminum bodies.
Yeah, and so they are auctioning them off. A guy in Oregon, he says it. You can get them for as cheap as $1,000. They're ratted out. There's no wheels on it. No. But then you might get beat out a couple times by these bigger guys that are coming in and bidding on like 5 and 10 to take back to Vegas to plastic dip, Raptor, Rhino line, whatever. But you will win one. And the guy gets it. It gets shipped in. You know, he says it will, you know, be in Oregon, you know, kind of a little bit of a headache to do the paperwork. But I start doing my background checks and as far as what to do. And I asked them, I said, if I get one of them, they have no bill. You get a bill of sales, but you don't have no title.
Right.
It's no different than in Kentucky. What I've found, there's no difference of doing for instance, you want to build a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson custom, and it'll be special project build title or a collision repair title. Now, I don't know how Tennessee is, but from what I found out, I was worried about there's no key ignition. You know, you got to have turn lights, you got to have horn. But
you can add all that bullshit.
You can add it all. And dude, I would almost give my left nut for one to have right now before they're gone. And that's also the way I think. If you get one, it's going to go up in value because once they're gone and sold, they're sold. And they're not selling them to nobody. They are, like when that auction started, the sheriff departments, all those guys had first dibs. But now they're decommissioning so many.
So the sheriff's departments, they get them for, what is it, $1?
Something like that.
Yeah.
They have to retain them for 24 months, and then they themselves auction them off. We have, what, 3 over here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's some, and they've got full-blown, there's an MRAP floating around, and there's all kinds of shit.
But I love that stuff. I think that would be awesome. And those, like you've been talking on some last videos with those diesel guys on Discovery, the diesel, how they're taking that, chopping the bot, or even the bigger, I guess, transport vehicle. I'm not really good on names. Chopping, bobbing. Son, I mean, that to me would be bitching. And so, boom, right on the side. Have one, actually, I think Wild, my fiance, I don't even know why she loves me, but I think real crazy shit sometimes and everything. But, you know, I've made sure I went to a couple Kentucky State police officers that are real good friends of mine and asked them, and they were like, dude, you don't even need a key ignition. You know, that's not on the rig. Because a lot of them have to do DOT inspections.
Yes.
And
that's what killed the Humvee in California.
Yeah.
They're not DOT certified.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the collapsible steering wheel, they don't have the padded dash, all that stupid stuff. But
Mick made some custom choppers and ran into the same bullshit in California.
Yeah.
It was the same. Like, he literally made.
I've seen a couple of them pictures of that knucklehead, and buddy, it is sweet. Yeah.
But California's a nightmare. So like XR 650R.
Yeah.
And the XL 650. The XL 650 is basically a street bike that looks like a dirt bike. The XR 650 is 90% dirt bike, and it's kind of street worthy.
Yeah.
So in California, you used to be able to take like CRF 450s and get them plated.
Yeah.
And some of them slipped through, and then they stopped doing that. So what guys were doing is they were getting them plated in Arizona, so they had a title, and then go back to California. Well, California caught on and knocked all that shit out.
Yeah.
Moved to Tennessee here, I can put a license plate on a fucking lawnmower. There's a dude running around town on a 2-stroke fucking dirt bike with a license plate. We have I have medium speed vehicle plates on the Razors.
Yeah.
Like, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So California's, fucked no matter what you're doing. But so I would recommend just leaving California.
Yeah, I would.
Do what I did. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. But that would be my dream vehicle, and they only run 60 mile an hour maxed out.
They're fucking miserable.
Yeah,
they are. It's shit.
Shit.
You need some comms to talk to your fucking boy.
Yeah. And I love them videos like you were talking about. I guess his name's Ranger Dave.
God, that's what I was just thinking.
And I mean, I was telling him, because we were in Key West, and after watching the video, I was like, man, because we were going out on a charter, me and my fiance, Nikki, out to a charter boat, deep sea fishing. Son, here comes these Zodiacs, and I'm not watching because I'm looking at the boat and like, man, how are you asking all these questions and bugging the living shit probably out of the crew and tapping and she taps me on the shoulder, and they're like from me to the wall, zoom, and I go back to the room and I find out, their dive, that is the dive for the special forces down in Key West. And then hearing the story, I was dive school, and I was like,
combat dive school.
I was like, man, I would
people
really
don't realize the Air Force has a school there, the Marine Corps has their school there, the Navy is fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think they use down there, but everybody else does.
Yeah.
I think EOD guys go down there.
Yeah,
and
EOD
then
because
most-
Richard Poland did do dive down.
Most of the just because they don't have combat divers. They have maybe hard hat divers. Most of them go to Hawaii because that's where Travis went, and that's where they actually still do put the bolts together underneath the water and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I love that. I would love to meet him. You know,
Ranger Dave?
Ranger Dave, because dude, I'm like, man,
you should come to Blade Show, man. It's in Atlanta in 4 or 5 months. You'd have a blast, especially metal shit, dude. You should go to Blade Show. You will probably meet Ranger Dave at Blade Show.
But yeah, hearing his story about the comms and everything,
You can't keep him in one place more than 5 minutes, but he'll be there.
Yeah, he's a hoot.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
I don't know.
45, 40? It's got to be 40.
Yeah, probably.
He's fucking every bit. He's the same as he was 20 years ago. He looks the same.
Yeah.
It's like they cryo-froze him.
Yeah.
He's like Demolition Man. We just fucking freeze him until fucking there's another war.
Yeah.
Or we need a regulator built out of PVC pipe.
A rebreather. Not a regulator, a fucking rebreather. The motherfucker made a rebreather and used kitty litter for the fucking soda sword.
That is. I mean.
He made a fucking parachute on my driveway.
Yeah. See, I was telling him that.
And jumped it in a civilian drop zone and fucking had a fucking streamer on his first deployment.
Yeah, I was telling him about that video because Brian, man.
There were motherfuckers looking for him.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, that guy is some really cool guy.
He's out of control. So we got a sale going. We launched. We did the giveaway last week, 2 weeks ago. We did.
It's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago we did the giveaway. We gave away 2 watches. This time, take this up and show it to them. We got the bronze one going up, and then I have a combat coming from LoomTech, and I have a M58, I believe. It's fucking awesome, toxic. It's literally the last housing they had. They assembled it last week. That's shipping to us today. So there will be 3 big winners in the giveaway. The first big winner will also get a Strider. It's 12 of 24. What is that? A D9?
That is a...
What's it say on the handle? On the cord? On the ticket?
Yeah, D9.
Yeah, D9. D9 Mod 10.
Painted. There are no others painted like that. There won't ever be any others painted like that.
Nope.
I mean, you can obviously take it and Cerakote it or whatever.
No, don't do that.
You could, but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And then we are going to also give all the winners a Celtic Shield Camouflage Combat Wallet.
What's his badass?
The first winner will also get a Cobalt bead. We're not going to give those to all 3 of the winners.
No.
Because I like one. I'm down to 3
we
now.
got 3 left.
I have to get one out of my office to make it 4. And then we're going to give each winner a flask. We're going to give them one of the Engine House Leather SOE wallets and a desk tray. And then there's a bunch of other shit going in there also. We're going to give each of the first 2 winners, we'll get a bottle of Creed Aventus cologne, and then some other shit we're adding.
Damn. Yeah, I want to get in.
Yeah.
Are employees exempt from this?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. That's what I was wondering.
Can employees enter this competition?
At retail value, that's
A lot.
Oh shit.
it's over $3,000. It's
Easy.
probably closer to $4,000.
Yeah.
We just try to do them big. So we're working up. We're gonna do a Razor build and give it away. I want to do a full-blown Jeep build this summer, and I want to we're gonna wrap the Cayman. We're gonna wrap all the vehicles here before Blade, but we're gonna give the Cayman away.
During that time.
This summer sometime we're gonna give the Cayman, the Porsche away.